Hi, welcome to the Karhoo onboarding tutorial. In this video, we're going to show you how to add prices to the Karhoo platform and how your driver will self-onboard onto the driver app. So just starting off, you would have received an email similar to this, Flit Technologies being Karhoo, with a username and password and a link to log in. Once you come to the landing page of the link, you enter the ID and password from the email and click the login button. So the landing page here is empty because there's no data coming through from Karhoo yet. You will start to see data, ride information appearing in these panels once you are live. So just coming back, partner management is where you want to go, the partner being Karhoo. The first thing you need to do is to invite your drivers. These are the drivers on your fleet. You can add an email and the mobile phone number or one or the other. Okay, so if you only have one piece of information, that's fine. They'll receive an SMS with the instructions from here. Just select the country and enter the telephone number. You have to determine the vehicle that they drive. So we'll just, we've pretty much covered most of the options here. So you've got standard saloon, you've got executive saloon. So make the correct selection. Leave this set to yes, so the driver can see future jobs. It's going to help you with self-assignment, and then click on send, and then a message will go to the driver with details on how to onboard. Excuse me. So once that's done, for each driver, you can now go ahead and we'll click on the accounts button. So you can see down here that we have the default iVcardo accounts. But here we're going to put Karhoo. This is what you would write. You can give it whatever account number you wish. And the tax rate that you charge to Karhoo. So in the UK, it's 21%. In Spain, transport is 10%. So just put in your tax rate. And the contact name. So the person that you deal with at Karhoo, we'll just put in Mark Boys, for example, and you can enter his email address and phone number if you wish. Tick here if the billing contact is the same. Okay, and then we click on save. And then you'll see, once the page refreshes, you'll see the Karhoo account down here. The next step is to add some prices. Okay, so we click on the pricing matrix, and again, you'll see the full list of service types that are available. So you just scroll down and you enter the data for the services that you offer. So we'll take, as an example, standard saloon down here, and we click on the set prices. And you'll see that there's a matrix there for all zones. Okay, and I'll just show you just 1 second how we populate that information. So we go to polygon zones and we go add new zone. So what this allows you to do, it allows you to set up a pricing matrix for a specific point. We'll just use Palma and Mallorca as an example. And I can call that the Palma pricing zone. Okay, I'm going to click on save. And then I've got the Palma pricing zone in my list. We use another example of zones. We can go to, if we just add a new zone, and then we'll zoom in. And we can have, let's type in Palma Airport. Okay, so I can create a zone here, which is called, and make sure you cover the whole of the airport. We can just up to there, and then we'll call that Palma Airport. And we click on save. Okay, and you can see the zones are starting to fill out. We create another one for, we'll call it Palma City Centre. We'll just use the ring road, like that, and we'll call it Palma City. And the reason we're doing this will become evident in just a few minutes. We'll click on save. Okay, so we've got our 3 zones now. our pricing zone, and our two destination zones. So go back to pricing matrix, scroll down to standard saloon. So we have our zones here, and we have our Palma pricing zone that we can create a specific price for, and we could then have other zones around the island of Mallorca or city that we can have. So this is for pickup addresses. It looks at the zone and the pricing matrix for that zone. We go down to the Karhoo account that we've created. Okay, so we're now creating either all zones or the zone that you've created. So the minimum fare is, we'll just throw some examples. So we can say it's 20 euros. It includes the first 2 kilometers. Waiting time, we can say is 20 pence a minute. It's by minutes. And the pricing that you want to send to Karhoo, you might want to round up to the nearest euro. Okay. Then we have a stop via charge. So if Karhoo have 2 addresses, a pickup and a destination, but en route there is a 3rd address, you can put in a figure here, 2 euros, 5 euros, whatever. So it will calculate the distance between the 3 points still, but here we're adding just a one-off kind of inconvenience fee. So once we've finished with the panel, we go to the distance bands. And you can set these up how you like. Just by clicking on the band, you can change the end distances to whatever your business operating procedure is. So we'll just assume that it's 2 euros per kilometer for the first 10 kilometers. And then it's probably the same from 10 to 50, but then actually you might want to offer some kind of discount. And the further the vehicle travels, you could reduce the price even further. So you get that sliding scale becomes, it makes you more competitive. Hourly bands. So when the ride comes through from Karhoo, it will have a time and a distance element to it. So we've covered the distances here, but you could in theory add, so if a journey is 20 kilometers and Google have determined that the journey will take 30 minutes, then on the 30-minute part, you could add a variable here. So you could say for the first hour, it's 20 euros an hour. So if it's a 30-minute journey, 10 euros would be added on to the conditions up here, right? And again, you could carry on and reduce those as the ride progresses. If you don't want to charge by hourly, then obviously leave those to 0. Okay. So very, very simple process to add prices for the Karhoo API to query. Click on save, and you can see that the prices are updated. Repeat that process for all of the service types you offer. So you might have a first class saloon or an executive saloon, or you might offer a minibus service or people mover, 6-seaters. So just repeat that process, very simple, just to go through one by one. Once you've done that, you might want to go ahead and generate some rates around zone-to-zone pricing. So this is, we'll use an example here. So again, select the Karhoo account. And so you want to say that from Palma Airport to Palma City. Okay, they're the zones that we created before. And we click on Generate Price. And this takes a few seconds because it's running through all of those service types you saw to generate if prices have been entered against them in our previous step. And then you just scroll down to use standard saloon as an example, if I can find it. There you go. So we're going to put in the price. We'll just say that the price between Palma Airport and Palma City is 35 euros. And you'll see the slider here is set to green. That means that if Karhoo sends through a price that says, a request for a price from Palma City to Palma Airport, like the reverse trip, do you want to apply the same price? Okay, so you can say yes or no, and then you click on save, and it gives you the option then to reverse that decision. Okay, So we're going to click on save. Okay, and you'll see the price has been set. And then you just work through your service types, adding the price range for those 2 points and updating. So once all your prices have been entered, the final step is to pair this account that you created with the demand partner, which is Karhoo. So it says select the customer account pricing matrix, well, it's the Karhoo one that we created, and select the demand partner to pair. So you have the two here, the default iVcardo exchange, and you have the Flit Technologies. So we select the Flit Technologies Karhoo demand partner account, and we click on save. And really that just ties the account and the pricing matrix that we've just created under Karhoo, our internal account, to their API, so that when the request comes through, they know where to go and look. In part 2 of this video, we're going to cover what happens when the bookings come in, and in part 3 to follow the process the drivers have to go through to onboard on the driver app. Both very simple processes, very short videos. They're coming up shortly. Thank you. Run through the onboarding process for the driver so you can see how simple it is. The emails take various formats, but pretty much the information is the same. So what you'll have is the default RideBridge driver that we've created. So this is a unique ID to carry out a particular ride that's been assigned from the platform. And it has a unique driver ID and password, as you can see there. And the login, so the download links for the various stores. So once the drivers downloaded the app, they enter the driver ID and the password, as you can see there. And you can hold and copy and paste these as well. And then they log into the app. So once they log in for the first time, the system realizes that they haven't been onboarded as yet, and there's a few details missing. So we click the continue button, and the first question is what country was your vehicle registered in? And you would select from the list, which is going to use UK. And then it asks for the registration number. This is the license plate from the back or the front of the vehicle. So we're just going to enter some data in there. And when we click continue, that then goes off to the European Database API so that it can validate the information, and you can see that it's come back with a result. If it doesn't come back with a result, then it would ask you to fill in the details manually. So we just go confirm. The next question is to upload a selfie. Okay, and then we'll just go gallery. Okay. And then we'll just select one image from there. Okay, so that's the selfie profile image. And then it's going to ask for a name. So we're just going to use, we'll just use Terry Jones, and then obviously a mobile number. Okay, and you go continue. And then immediately you can see that the driver has been onboarded now, and the job that was assigned has come straight through to the device. So you have some information here. You have a contact number, and if you click these links here, they will open a navigation, for example, navigate you from where you are to the pickup address. Let's go back. So any address you see on here, you can click, and it will take you to that address. So we have date and time of the booking at the top in red. We have number of passengers and the number of bags. Okay. Now from this point on, the system is automated. Once you've accepted the ride, or the ride's appeared here on the screen in full, that means there's no accept button at the bottom. You must push that if it asks you to accept. The system will then use geofencing and real-time traffic to update the platform automatically. So actually, as the driver, you don't need to do anything. But we do have some buttons here. So if I click on the menu button, we come to this page. And you can see the price for the ride is displayed here at the bottom in black and white, so the driver knows what the fare is. So we have some buttons, which is tell client I'm on my way. Okay, and again, this is fully automated, so in theory you shouldn't have to touch these, but if you wanted to do it manually, that's fine. And then when you've arrived at the pickup point, you can tell the client that you've arrived, and that sends an email or an SMS text message to the client, multilingual, so they'll receive it in their own language. And when the passenger embarks into the vehicle, passenger is on board. And then when client disembarks, so this is the end of the journey. So very simple, when you finish the ride, if the menu is still here and the job won't clear, you can come to the menu and you can just push that button there and it goes back. So that's the process for onboarding a driver the first time. It may be that you want to send driver another job and you've only got the reference number. So again, by pushing the menu button down here, it's changed now. So this is where we can log off. We can view past and present bookings, and we'll ignore messaging for now, but you can send two-way messages to and from the dispatch center. But if you give the driver the booking reference, he can log in as normal, and he can click on the RideBridge link, and he can enter and it would take the form of alphanumeric letters and numbers, and then get details, and that would then pull that ride. So once the driver's onboarded himself, that is that he's gone through the process. He's gone through the process of adding his name and his vehicle and everything else. He can then just carry on working through the app. Past and present bookings, we've got some options here. So we've got any pre-assigned rides. Okay, so any rides that were assigned to this driver in the future would be listed here. And then we have self-assign. So here we would see, so we have two tabs at the top, self-service tomorrow and future jobs. There is no data in the system, but in theory the driver could review the jobs in the future if that's the permissions you've given to the driver, and they could self-assign. So that's the process in end-to-end for onboarding a driver, and you could see the job coming through, and obviously the notifications and ride statuses go back to the customer, which is really important for them to know where the vehicle is, and it saves all those telephone calls that go backwards and forwards. And then finally, just log off. Thank you for watching.